What's up, you two? This is Howler Mouse.
Joe Sharp. And I'm Daryl, owner of D&J Hobby Center here in Galax, Virginia.
And that's where we're coming to you from today. So we're here to talk about some shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
First of all, the thing about this, we were just talking here before y'all got here. We got 2 or 3 things here, but biggest thing we might do is a little Hall of Shame, and since that seemed to be, got a little people going there. But the first thing I kind of want to throw in here, man, is that this place is haunted. So
yes,
you give us a little.
All right.
This is hilarious.
The shop exists in a old carriage house repair called White Gables, and out the road from us in another county in Grant, there's a Green Gables, and on up the East Coast, same guy built all of these, named them after a color.
Right.
All the buildings were completely identical, same set of blueprints, went through putting them up, and pretty much they were carriage repair, all-purpose utility buildings. Well, the center of the shop, the main structure with the A-frame, is 100 years old. This part we're in is 60 plus, and then the garage on the other end is about 40 so years old.
Right.
But the ghost, still, I have no idea who he is. We know it's a he. Everyone's heard him talk. I've heard him talk. A few of my customers have heard him speak, and he's reacting to us. I know that.
Okay.
Because I've heard him audibly say, "Who's there? Who's talking?" He seems confused. He likes playing with the radio, apparently. The music keys up. Of course, Joe will testify to that for the RPGs in here.
Yeah, that thing will just, like, in the middle of something, and it's just perfect. No matter what, the music will always be perfect. Something big and heroic will happen, and there comes the main thing to Star Wars.
At least he's got taste.
Oh,
yeah. He's got good taste.
Yeah, it's because we mainly play, just for ambience music in the shop, like during the day, I always play movie soundtracks through it. Because we have the worst time getting radio reception into these concrete walls.
Yeah, when I'm driving through here, man, I'll lose whatever I'm listening to.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah.
But this past week, we have 3 game nights a week of different games. Usually different groups of gamers in here. But this past week, it was Monday night. It was just particularly active. And William, who has seen it twice before, he's the only one that I know of that's visually seen it, and it just appears.
Yeah, and this man is clean, right?
Oh yeah, William's 16 years old, clean. He doesn't. Nothing surprises him. The love of his life is Master Chief, and he just sees everything else as a distraction. And William doesn't lie; he's incapable of it because he doesn't know how.
Right.
And but he goes walking to the back. That's where Burst Refrigeration is located. We share half the building with them, and we have a bathroom that straddles the center of the building. The bathroom ends up leading down to the basement. There's an access door that goes down this old set of stairs to the crypt-like basement we have underneath here. And he was going back there. He just looks up, and the repairman from over there, they're long since gone. And he just looks up and just sees the thing walk past him. He said it just looks like a shadow. He heard sounded like boots on wood floor, and actually heard it transfer from the wood to the concrete of the garage beyond. And then he went on to the bathroom. It didn't no more phase him. He just comes walking back in here. Saw it. Saw what? Saw the ghost.
He
just sits back down and goes right on back to the game. And this happened Monday night. He saw it. He saw it again. One of the other guys heard it. Moose has heard it. He went into the bathroom. He was sitting there doing his business. And here's the thing. Walk up the steps. Now, you can see under the basement door the steps. There's no one on them.
Right.
But he can hear the steps creaking. Gets to the top of the steps and it sighs. Moose actually says, sorry. And it walks back down the steps.
We've determined that this thing's purgatory is not being able to pee. It has to be, because it's in the bathroom all the time.
Because every time somebody sees it, they're either around the bathroom, going to the bathroom, coming out of the bathroom, and that's what we came up with, is it's in purgatory and it can't go to the toilet.
So it's a ghost, haunts a comic book store, and has a fetish.
Yeah, I don't know. It's got a thing, evidently. But we've...
Have you named it?
No.
Haven't got that.
No, we haven't got to that point yet, but
You know, it'd be
we
cool
hear it.
if we see like a little orb floating
Yeah,
around.
yeah. Well,
You know?
I've had customers come in late in the evening, and because our hours on the door don't matter. If people want to come in, I'll sell them something. I don't
Yeah,
care. Well, I've had customers stand over there. One of my regulars, Brian, he was in the center of the shop. The comics and the kits and everything are, and I was in here on the phone, and he was just in there going through some books, and he just hears somebody start talking. Well, he looks over and he notices all the lights are off next over there, and he's just like, well, where is that coming from? And Brian's terrified of ghosts.
Right.
He can't stand. I mean, he's fascinated by them. Never wants to meet one, and he could hear it moving around, and he actually went outside. I got off the phone and went back. Brian, where'd you go? And he says, I'm out here. And he just give me the book tally from out here. And I said, what happened? And he told me. I said, it's okay, man. I said, it's not residual. I know that much.
See, now that's why I wanted to get this on here
Yeah.
when you agreed to do this, because like a lot of people, when they come in, it's people that don't know there's a ghost
No.
here. They don't talk to each other,
No.
and they all see something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's the majority of it is hearing him speak or mainly walking around. I have a little digital recorder. I left it in here at random because I firmly believe, as I said before, that he is reactive. He knows what's going on. And I didn't want him to know I left a recorder.
Right.
So I'll just turn it on and I just set it. And I kind of hid it on top of the comic boxes, on the back issue boxes. And I just walked off. The recorder's very, very sensitive. The thing will pick up with the door shut, cars pulling in across the street.
Right.
So as soon as I leave, I shut the door. You hear me lock it, walk on out to the car. 10 minutes later, it picks up boots. It sounds like boots on wood, because we have old wood floors in here. Comes walking from that hallway, walking in here right up to the recorder. And it stops.
It's mocking you.
Yeah, it's mocking me. Well, 2 hours and some minutes later into the recording, the radio comes on, and I hear the CD selector clicking. And it brings up the Tron soundtrack from the new Tron movie. Well, it starts that up, and the volume goes all the way down on it. And I hear it switch again, and I have Kingdom of Heaven in there from Orlando Bloom's
Yeah,
movie.
yeah.
Well, that goes, the volume just goes up and up and up. It's just like as it goes on, it keeps going up and up and up. Finally maxes out to where it's deafening the recorder. I'm starting to get feedback on the recorder. It's so loud. Listens to that, ends up going to one of the Halo soundtracks that are in there. It enjoys it. Then it switches over to, we have Black Hawk Down in there, and it enjoyed it. Well, when it comes back to Tron, it just turns it off. So evidently it doesn't have a thing for, modern techno.
It sounds like this ghost it missed half the movies in the 80s.
Yeah.
It's contemporary. So.
Yeah. But the one thing that we did come into when we first came into this place 15 years ago, we found liquor bottles everywhere. Like Old Jim Beam, Jack Daniels, bunch of Wild Turkey bottles. And I've come to the belief that whoever it was evidently drank himself to death. Because when
And watched a lot of movies.
he watched a lot of movies. He went drinking and then went out and watched movies and then came back and drank some more. Evidently he worked here. That's what I'm assuming. So when one of the other clues that we came up with, they had to dig out the side of the building to recover. Since this used to be an old carriage facility, they turned it into a garage.
Right.
There used to be gas pumps out here. Well, they had to dig up what was left of the fuel tanks. Well, when they went to digging them up, all they kept finding were buried liquor bottles. So evidently the man had a bad habit and hid it, probably from his wife, who may have resulted in his demise. But they pulled out, I know some of the workers kept them because some of these were like old, really nice, the carved glass bottles. And
All he's doing is he's getting drunk and,
Yeah.
and burying shit and didn't remember it.
yeah, and I kept
I don't
thinking,
drink that much. Where's my stash?
Yeah, we found bottles like in the walls when we pulled some of the stuff down to do some repairs. up under the tables. Oh, he was everywhere.
That's
We
hilarious.
go into the basement. They're stuck all over the place. He had stashes. But evidently, we even began to believe, what if he was drunk when he died and he doesn't know he's dead?
That's cool.
Because we were going like, why does he react the way he does if he knows he's dead?
He's looking for his bottles.
Yeah, he got rid of them. I keep thinking like he's wandering up some of them.
You know how much backwash goes in those bottles for DNA? I mean,
Yeah.
so, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and it was just, I thought maybe he's just there stumbling. Who's in there?
That would explain him having to go to the bathroom all the time too.
God pissed on the door. There's always somebody in this place. Oh my!
Oh my God.
Somebody, and of course Moose is in there. He goes in there, light a match, son of a bitch.
God, he stinks. Oh God Almighty.
But yeah, it's been the thing, that and the squirrels that we have here. We have there's squirrels that live in the trees out back, and they love. I guess they've been doing it since the building's been here. They have their own little channels and cubby holes through the walls, and they'll come in.
I got the same thing at the house I'm renting.
Yeah.
It's groundhogs. I mean, there's a family of groundhogs.
Mhm.
And they don't even hide it, man. There's like 4 or 5 of them. They're under the porch.
Yeah.
And then I got the squirrels in the roof. You can hear them in the roof.
Yeah.
And they mock you, man. They'll sit there and they'll knock.
Oh,
No,
no,
they
what
run
they'll
down this
do,
wall.
you'll hear them in the walls and going across the ceiling. And when we have Warhammer games going on the game tables, they'll leave the pieces set up. The squirrels will come through and move them. And you'll see evidence of them, like the pieces are turned around, they're knocked over, or they picked it up and carried it somewhere. And you'll see where they've wound their way through the pieces. They pushed them out of the way. But the best squirrel incident we had, remember I told you about Justin?
Yeah.
What we call it is the day the squirrel came for him. They're in here playing Warhammer, and it's really late in the evening. And Justin hears the squirrels, and he's making fun of them. And he's banging the ceiling, like he'll jump up and knock it, and you'll hear him like run. One of the funniest of the many funny things that have happened in here. This is in the top 10. Justin's about 5'11", almost 6 foot, bald, and squeals like a girl. We found out.
All right.
And the ceiling's got seams in it, as you can see. So I'm sitting roughly here. I'm watching the game. The guys are there playing, and I look up and I just go, "Oh my God, Justin!" From between the seams, you see this furry claw come down, and it's reaching for his head. You see the little claws, the fur. It's just. Justin looks up, and he drops and he screams, and he fell to the floor, and he's looking up, and he sees it, and it's flexing, and it was right, it almost touched his head. I mean, it was within that of touching his head, and he's there whispering, "They've come for me," and you see it. The best part was the way it retracted. It just pulls back and it closes, and it draws back up through the ceiling, and you hear it just.
The squirrels know my name.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just they came for him. He never made fun of them again after that. The other one I loved was one of our.
Well, he's in their home.
one of our lady gamers went in there to use the bathroom, and this time it wasn't the ghost. She was in there, and she said she just looked over, and just out of the wall, apparently a hole or something around the door. She said this little red boomer squirrel just came out, sat down, and just watched her pee.
Okay, I've had that happen. Yeah, that's not the first time I've heard this. Yeah, so.
We've had like little stashes of chestnuts and stuff in our tanks during the Warhammer
Yeah,
games.
yeah, like they'll open up the Land Raider doors somehow. You'll see little claw marks on them, and they'll just stuff them. And the guys come hear something rattle and come in the next day. What is this? Dump it out. They're just nuts.
I'm gonna call them alpaca squirrels.
Yeah, squirrel. Yeah. But
Then
Lord.
there's the bird that attacks when you go to the bathroom.
Oh yeah, I love that. Poor panda, he never could stand that. There's birds get in here, and they'll either come in through the old garage doors, or somehow phase through the granite walls in the basement, and they'll get in, and it's the best thing. You go to the bathroom, you open up the door, there's a bird sitting on the toilet looking at you. And of course in here most of the people just think, well, that's normal, and they'll just shut the door and go back. I'll wait for him to finish. But they'll come in and get loose. We had a raven in here one time. Giant blackbird, just going bananas on the game table, knocking stuff over, calling and crowing. But we have one gamer. His nickname's Panda. He's
Right.
terrified of birds. And I had that little window over there open. He's setting up in here, going to play a game with his buddy Jacob. In swoops one, misses his head by that. It just right past him. He yells. He runs outside.
Did he roll a die? No.
He just like pieces went everywhere. He's yelling and running, and the thing like bounces around in here and goes right back outside. And I slammed the window shut. He comes in. The little feathered bastard was in the tree watching him, and comes back and smacks the window. And then it flies back around and lands there, and it's got its head up against the window with this one eye, and it's watching him. And Panda was afraid to go home after that. He was afraid like he'll step outside, birds will come down and swarm him, and he'll just disappear.
Oh my
We
god.
call him Panda because he's got the reflexes of a panda.
Yeah.
That was the fastest we have ever seen him move.
Yeah.
Besides the scooter.
Yeah.
Some motivation.
Yeah, he had a lot of motivation that day.
Yeah.
Panda.
But yeah, it's funny. It was, oh Lord.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah, the shenanigans. It's ridiculous. Isn't
That's
it?
my favorite word, shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we redefine it
I like that.
every other
and-
week.
I like that and Locutus.
Mhm.
All right. For the benefit of time here and stuff like that, Hall of Shame.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody y'all want to nominate?
Comic book wise, Joe, you have anybody?
Movies, comic books,
Mm.
Panda.
We'll just put Moose in the Hall of Shame for what he does to the air in the shop.
Yeah. Let's see. Well, that Phoenix 5, that's ridiculous.
He said Phoenix 5.
Yeah, I did. I sell these books. I have a right to complain because that's my money that went into buying these things. That's why I wish the previews for us would have some hint of some of these things, because all they do is when they go to the shops is they have this thing, you might want to buy some more of these books. We were talking earlier about the Death of Captain America.
Right,
when
right.
that came up, you might want to get some more of these. We don't know why, but they just want you to get a few more. So we did. We opened up the book. God, Cap is dead, and that was a good book, really well done. And we scrambled to get more. Diamonds had more in reserve.
Right.
They know what's going on. We don't get to because they're afraid we'll blab it to somebody. Lord forbid, comic book buyer might want to buy more of a book because of what's in it. So when it came up with this, with the A versus X, we get it in, and I make it a point to flip through every book as we get them out of the box. So when customers come in, they might ask, well, is this something I'll be interested in? And, knowing their likes or dislikes, I can point them in that direction without giving it away.
Absolutely. Yep.
And I flip through it, and I'm going through it, and I love Hope. She's the best X-Man they ever created.
Better than Mara?
Yes, far better.
That's right.
Morrow or Marrow, however you put it. It was ridiculous.
There we go. Yeah.
That was a ridiculous character. And she's got bone growth. They already have Wolverine. I mean, if they were coated in something, sure, but I was just like, somebody grab a hold of her and just rip out her arms.
All right.
That was silly.
So you read AVX to help your customers out.
Go through that, and I flip it open, and I go to the back, and I want to know why G-Force is in the back of it. And I'm looking at it, and I was like, what the heck happened? And I'm reading it, and Hope does the refusal of the Phoenix. I thought, that's Cable's little girl there. She's doing her badassedness, and
I wonder if Namor had like his little, wing ankles. They were flamed.
probably. I was looking for it. Maybe he had beaks on his toes. And he's doing his usual thing that he does anymore is just pose. He does this all the time.
Yeah, who he's looking like now that we're talking?
What?
Remember when Black Adam popped up in 52?
Yeah.
And the villains
That's-
united? He
yes.
was always like
Yeah,
that
he
for 20
looks-
years. Yeah.
And Black Adam, he was just in the DC books. He just was there to look badass, and he backed it up. And Namor does, he does his thing in the books, but I was looking at that, and then of course for some reason Cyclops has a beak on his head, and
Before we were talking, just put two big eyeballs inside
Yeah.
his head and you got a duck or something.
giant parakeet or
Yeah,
something.
you know what we're talking about.
And
The ginger has caught up. Yeah.
But I was looking at that, and like Emma's apparently made of gold now, And just looking at him, all this fight, all this fracas leads up to it. And when Cyclops goes to use his Phoenixy Fiery Bird powers, he flicks his fingers and causes an atomic bomb explosion. Sends everybody flipping back. All it does is singe their clothing. And I was like, you didn't even bother to use... I would have loved it if the Phoenix Force manifested in their mutant abilities. Like, he shot flame from his beak.
I think my problem is that they don't apparently... The Phoenix... How did they split it up in 5? It's a being.
Yeah.
It's an entity. It's not... it's not a transformer. It's not.
Yeah.
It's not a. I don't know what I'm trying to get at here, but you can't split a living thing. in 5.
I think what they did is they came to a point in the story and they were like, "Whoa, what if we had the core X-Men team all become possessed by the Phoenix? It'll be like one of these what if where we answer it all at once."
Okay, if they can split in 5,
Mhm.
why can't they just come back together? And
Yeah,
be one?
and then the other thing is why pick those X-Men? Why not grab some certain ones? Like if it could have been some certain Avengers, or particular X-Men.
Yeah, we were talking about Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
Should have been Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
If anybody's going to get it,
And then that would have been all the better. Like, or if it had split off to certain points on the planet, but then I guess that would have been too much like Fear itself, with the hammers dropping all over the place. But
Well, that's kind of what they've done. They just dropped in one place.
yeah,
I mean,
and that's where I was like, you guys had something great going here. These big climactic fights, all those who would win kind of things, and you're getting a lot of that answered, and then it comes up to this, and why bother? You had Tony Stark go up there in that giant armor with that enormous gun, and he blasted the thing, thought he had killed it, and no, of course not. It just
Well,
decided to split off.
the first time I saw the Phoenix Force,
Mhm.
it wiped out a whole planet.
Yeah,
Okay, I don't think it,
Well,
it,
in
can, it
the-
can fly through the sun. What kind of gun do you really make?
yeah, and the stuff that leads up to it, like it shows in the books, it flies over the planet, burns everything off of it, but in the aftermath you see little plants glowing.
So I can see them containing it.
Yeah.
I can see them containing it, but
Yeah.
not trying to kill it or shoot it or anything
Yeah,
like that.
it's like they came up with something very original and decided to get very cliched about
They
it.
should have came here and replaced the Raven.
Yeah, we
Flying
could,
around, playing Warhammer.
we need better lights in here anyway.
Yeah.
And the heat would be nice in the winter.
It would.
But they have such potential to do some good stuff. I was impressed with a lot of parts of Fear itself. Even Secret Invasion had its moments.
I found that one unreadable.
Mhm.
I got rid of it. I made it halfway through, and I'm like, my Avengers fought Godzilla in the 70s,
Mhm.
and they were in the middle of the Savage Land, and one dinosaur comes through,
Mhm.
and they're all to hell.
Yeah.
Nah.
Yeah.
So,
Well, with a number of books, I've noticed they get into a rut, and they're all the time like, DC pulls out something big, Marvel's got to do it. It's just part of the industry. It's their competition.
Right.
Well, they're there at the bull session. What are we going to do to upstage DC this year? What are we going to do to upstage?
and competition's healthy, so,
Yeah.
Well,
Well, with DC, the best thing they've done so far is with the Batman series, The Court of Owls.
Yeah.
That is the best villains I've ever seen come up with, especially when they do the thing of finding out that some of them are former Waynes, but
Yeah.
like from way centuries ago.
I thought all that was cool, but I liked how they all of a sudden it's like, not Dick Grayson, even his last name, the Gray Sun.
Uh-huh.
And everybody that's fought one of the owls, they always notice he moves like Dick
Yeah.
Grayson.
Yeah.
And that's just sort of cool. I mean, that's just
to pay that
you
attention.
you elevated a Batman story with a great crossover,
Yes.
and then you took Dick Grayson and you elevated him at the same time.
And they even went into even ones that faced off against Batwing, and I don't have many customers that really like the book.
Yeah.
But they even did that. That was good. I had people getting them because they've become such fans of the villain, of the owls, and I'm looking forward to finding out just who is in the court, who's behind those owl masks. And I've heard all kinds of suspicions from my readers.
Yeah.
A lot of them think they're still the same court, that it's still the same people through this.
Yeah. And I tell you what, one of the things it's too late now. One of the first things that I saw when I started hearing about this Court of Owls, first thing I thought they were going to bring in Earth 3. I get
Yeah.
out completely the wrong way. I'm like, this is Owlman. These
Yeah.
are his people.
Yeah.
I mean, who knows? But it's kind of cool. You know.
And Marvel on the other hand, Marvel has some good books that they're running. Thor was really great for a bit, and I love what they did with Child Loki.
Yeah.
That was one of the best things they did. Hetty Cole, the actual Loki in the Magpie, and some of those stories have been really well done. But I've had a lot of complaints from my readers over Journey into Mystery, where it's just become Loki's book.
But see, I've been hearing all kinds of complaints. I mean, and this is your shop, and you know,
Yeah.
like the reviews and stuff and everything like that. It seems like all the good Marvel books are under the radar. You got Daredevil, Mark Waid,
Yeah.
the Child Loki, and stuff like
Yeah.
that. You know, and then what's supposed to be their big main event? I mean, you got a Batman. This is just in the Batman family.
Yeah.
That's their. That's people are loving that more than AVX. I'm hearing
Yeah.
more than that, and then
Yeah.
what you're talking about. And
The Daredevil books, I sell them through. The Punisher books do really good here. A lot of my readers love Punisher Max and love the new Punisher.
Right.
Where they rebooted him for the Marvel Universe. Ultimates does good here. Ultimates isn't always popular with people. There's a lot of people that do not like that universe since it's set in a more real world setting.
Right.
But if you watch the Avengers movie, which everyone on Earth has apparently 4 or 5 times, that's the Ultimate you're looking at.
The Avengers movie just cracks me up because, like, there's a TV show called Spoilers that Kevin Smith did,
Mhm.
and he takes a bunch of people to the movie. They went to watch Snow White and the Huntsman.
Mhm.
Everybody wanted to talk about the Avengers movie.
Yeah.
It was so funny. Well, I just saw the Avengers movie, and I was like,
Yeah.
it was so funny. That Avengers movie, holy cow!
Oh God! For me, the thrill of everything working together so well, and then you have one of the moments for me, well, I guess the geek in me. I've always had a thing for ships, spacecraft, stuff like that. See the helicarrier take off, and I felt like I was 7 years old.
They had the best joke in it. Captain America made that joke like, if you can surprise me,
Yeah,
I'll
he'd
give
give
you
you
$10, and he just
$10
puts out his money, and
Yeah,
there you
$10.
go.
and it did well. We went and me and some friends of mine went and saw Snow White and the Huntsman, and that wasn't bad. I think it had the potential to be a lot better.
Yeah.
But they ran out of budget.
Yeah. I don't know if I want to see it or not. I mean, it sounds like a love and hate thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Prometheus is coming up. I'm
Oh,
gonna try
Lord.
to dig
Yeah.
up some money to go see that.
Yeah, Prometheus looks amazing. There's several of us who are going to get together and go see that. Mike's getting it up here at the theater. And
Did he say when he's getting it? Because I looked online.
yeah, it's
not on his calendar.
It's should be Friday. I know the movie's a little over 2 hours. I think the second showing is at like 9:30.
Oh, okay.
It's like 2 hours 10 minutes.
I
Something
might
like
try
that.
to jump. Well, I don't know. I might go Saturday day during the matinee.
Mhm.
I'm a cheap.
Yeah, it's a
bastard.
lot cheaper than that.
Yeah, I'm a cheap bastard. So. What about you? You sound like we're in the movies and stuff.
I'm a college kid. I can't afford to go anywhere.
He's in college, people.
Yeah.
All right, guys, just because I don't know how much battery on that, we'll wind it up here. But real
All
quick, before Watchmen, thumbs up, down?
Oh, I liked it.
I like
I
it.
liked it. Yeah, it's we sold it out, so that's what I go by. I liked what I got to read of it. I've got a copy of it. I'm going to finish reading it this evening, but the customers loved it. Everyone that came picked it up loved it.
All right, that's cool. So, Phoenix 5 versus Before Watchmen. Which-
Oh Lord!
I just wanted official.
Watchmen by far. Phoenix 5. That's just gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, there we go.
And I hate to say that because we're selling those books.
All right, say name of your comic book shop one more time.
It's D&J Hobby Center. We're here in Galax, Virginia.
All right, and we got to support the future here. So.
Yes, we do. Support your local Joe.
Thanks a lot, guys.